All right, guys, might be a two-part video. We're going to talk quickly about the day one that I did at Mad River, um, the $1 million guarantee. I ended up getting knocked out about 10 away from the money, but I ran across four real interesting hands, which I will turn around and analyze and go through with everyone. Like I said, it might be a two-parter. Okay, today we are going to be playing the Millie, they call it the Millie over at the Mad River Poker Club in Dayton, Ohio. And basically, what it is, it's $1 million guaranteed, not for first, but total prize pool. There might very well be an overlay because it is $1 million guarantee, and in the past, they've combined it with the Reserve Poker Club. And the Reserve brings in a lot of, because it's up in Toledo, it brings down a lot of people from Detroit, Michigan area, a lot of players that are Detroit players. And apparently they had a falling out. 3-bet. That's it. That's the only big thing I've done more of and recently, and it works. So don't flat, 3-bet. See, end of break. So we're at the end of the second break. I got two hands to review, which I'm going to do here in a second. It's kind of funny as the break ended. The guy had I got lucky on him. Well, he 3-bet with kings. I'm pretty sure he had kings. I had ace-5 suited because there's another caller in there. And I had an ace. And then right after that, another kid. I was on a flush draw, betting the draw. He got there, the guy called. Now he's down to, like, not much. He's trying to chip up. And then I 3-bet. He went all in for not a whole lot more. I made it 11,000. He made it like 30, less than 30 actually. And I pocket queens. I'm like, I didn't love it because the guy's really tight. But I called, and he's like, I had queens, he had aces. And he's like, it don't matter, I'm going to lose. It's like, I'm thinking, don't say that, right? And of course, a queen comes and he gets knocked out. And it's just kind of funny. So that was on tilt. And me and the guy next to him got lucky on him a couple times. So anyway, here's the hands I was going to talk about. Okay, not a real exciting hand, but we're going to talk about the first. Go ahead and play it for you. I'm in the hijack. I raised with 6-7 of spades. I get a big blind call and then the limper call. Flop comes 6-5 deuce. I'm going to try and c-bet this. I got top pair. People calling the big blind and the limpers call with absolutely any junk. So good chance. And so I bet the middle position calls. And I noticed when he called, he wasn't thrilled about calling. Well, actually, both people called. My bad. He called, big blind called, medium position called. 10 doesn't really change anything. I was behind. I feel like 3-4 or a set would have raised with 2 diamonds on the flop. So I feel like the best hand here. So I bet again. The big blind folds, and the MP hems and haws doesn't really want to call, but he turns around and decides to call. The river offsuit 4. And he turns around and he full pot into me. And I ended up folding. And I really feel like that 4 hurt me. He could have had 7-8. He was hemming and hawing. He wasn't sure he wanted to call with his hand on the turn. So a hand like pocket 4s makes a lot of sense. A hand like 5-4 makes a lot of sense. 5-4 suited, pocket 4s, pocket 3s, something where he had a pair and a gut shot. So this 4 gives him a hell of a lot of sets, 2 pairs, straights. And when he donks into me for real big sizing, I think it's a pretty easy fold. Now, look real quick here. So we have here a little solver that's very similar to Pile Solver. It's on my website, pokerpro.us.com, and I'm working on a really nice solver for PLO. Free, totally free. So I'm going to make some changes here. This is just kind of a basic range that I threw in, and then I'm going to make some changes based on what I think the guy has. So I've been having problems with the website. I got to switch from name secure because every other day my website goes down. I got to fix this. So anyway, I had to take a break from that. If I'm in late position, I'm raising with all these hands. I'm raising with my suited connectors. Pretty wide, honestly. Probably all my suited kings. Ace nine offsuit. Might be a little wider than that, but that's what I'm raising with. The out of position guys that just call and the limp callers, they obviously don't have ace king or ace queen. King jack off, maybe. Maybe some of these king queen, we'll say 50%. Number lock. 50%. There we go. Did that work? Should have. Oh no, I gotta click it. There we go. What else? 50%. Not really sure. Put on a 0. I'm going to take away king queen suited. I think they'd raise with these hands a lot of times. Maybe 50% of these hands. And 50% of all the suited aces. But they're limping, they're calling, they're limp calling with all their pocket pairs, of course, a lot of their suited connectors, and probably wider than this. I mean, what else are people limp calling and not raising with? Maybe hands like this. So we're going to give them this range. Definitely weaker than ours because, yeah, they're just limp calling. So it's really stupid to turn around and just do things like limp calling because, and just limping because it's good players can right off the bat put you on certain hands that you can and can't have. So anyway, my starting pot, I think, was we raised to, what did I raise to? Give me a second here. I got to think about this. All right. I just did this as far as big blinds. There was less more than that. There's limp, call, like 6 big blinds maybe. We have about 75 big blinds. We'll just go according to that. And we got our tree. Preview and edit tree. Save. Looks fine. Go ahead and run the solver. It might help if I put a board down there. Yep. So what was the board again? It was 6-5 deuce with 2 diamonds. 6-5 deuce. Tree. I think it's fine. Build new tree. So this is run the solver. This is really the same as Pile Solver. The only thing that is not as good about this is you can't node lock. You can put in people's range, which I guess is kind of like node locking. But, you know, if I put in a range and then later on I want to node lock and say, oh, on the turn, he's definitely betting top pair, which will change your results, which is kind of nice. Pile Solver has that. You can't do that. Problem with Pile Solver is I paid $250, had issues with it. They don't give you pre-flop ranges, which you can figure out what those are and download some of those from online. But everything else, like Hold'em resources and everything, everybody offers pre-flop ranges that you can node lock and edit. So I don't understand why Pile Solver should offer that. And then they say you got to pay another $350 to even do your own pre-flop builds, which is ridiculous. Pre-flop builds should already be offered. So they're not offering much for their price. I don't know. They have some neat things, but I'm going to recommend show you something real quick. It's called Hold'em Resources. I'm getting off track here, but I think this is worth it if you are not familiar with this. Now it does have some bugs post flop, so that's why where's my Hold'em Resources? Bear with me a second here. Got off track. But real quick. Shoot. So I'm getting off track here, but pre-flop, it's like $15 a month. It's pretty reasonable. It's like $50 a month to do a post-flop, but there's a lot of bugs post-flop. So I stopped using it for a while, but I signed back up just for the $15 one. And the thing that's nice is you can do Monte Carlo, multi-tabling, ICM, put in, all kinds of different things you want to do. And different sizing. If you want limps, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to open 2.5 or all in, whatever tree you want to build. It's really easy. Your 3-bet, let's say you could go 8 big blinds or all in. And then, say finish. Just giving you just a quick example to throw together here. And then, it'll tell you, okay, under the gun range, you should be raising with this. It's still kind of running in the background. But, pre-flop solutions are all here, and then it gets a little confusing. So this would be like, okay, you want to 3-bet these hands, raise with these hands. Let's say this guy raises, and now you want to 3-bet. What should you be 3-betting with? Well, in MP2, you probably want to be 3-betting with these hands right here, half aces and blah, blah. But the thing that's really kind of nice is they put in these GTO ranges for you. You don't got to figure this shit out, which is what Pile Solver should automatically have. And the other thing is you can turn in here and say edit range and say, okay, no, this may be GTO, but this isn't what people are doing, right? So you go down, percentage, or say, no, he is going to raise with, well, I have solutions here. I'll show you real quick that I have saved on some things. So if I go to my ranges and Pile, now I don't have a subscription, but I can still get in here. And let's say this is my range here. I can just go. These are for different situations. 9 max on the button, 3-bet squeeze, for example, etc. I turn around, let's just say copy. Go run down, say paste. Edit range. And I'll do this. I'm sure this works. Paste. There we go. I knew there's a way to easily do that. And then lock. And then so I say, okay, these are the hand ranges that he actually is raising with. Right? He's 3-bet with these, calling with these. This is actually what he's raising with, which is what I put in here. And then I go ahead and I rerun it. And I run in background. And now eventually here I'll see, okay, this changes as far as what I should do down here. So it's kind of a neat tool. A little confusing. Doesn't always work right. But it's a lot easier to use than the Pile Solver, honestly. So you can easily lock your ranges and then see what you should do from there. So I got off track, but I thought it was worth kind of pointing out. Been getting into the stuff lately. Mark Goon over at Hungry Horse Poker has some interesting stuff. So anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about here. Back to the solver. Let's look at the results here. So out of position. Checks half the time. Probably should be. Checks again. Comes to me. Opposition checks. Just 2 players. Sorry. My bad. So it's up to me whether or not I bet. If I bet, let's see if I look at 6-7 suited. You can see most of these straightening cards. I am betting, obviously. So I bet. And then it comes down to him. And when he calls, he's calling some of these hands here. But he's having to fold a lot of these hands here. He's only calling with things that connect with the board. So, which makes sense, right? I mean, even bad players are probably not calling with King Jack, unless they have 2 diamonds. Like if you click on this, you'll see, well, yes, you're calling with diamonds, but you're folding with King Jack of spades, So anyway, call. Turn came in offsuit 10, which changes absolutely nothing. And I turn around, I guess checking me again. And should I bet this? 6-7 suited. Absolutely, I should be betting this. You see all the orange, I should be betting. So I bet. Comes down to him. And so he's getting really narrow on things he should be calling here. But he ends up calling, right? And then the river is a 4. And Out of position. What does he got here? He's got, green is check, right? So he should be checking anyway, but players don't do that. So it comes to me, and let's see, he bets. And what does he have? That he's calling. That's a good hand. He's got 5 4s. Let's see. 5 4, all green. 6 5, 2 pair, all green. You know, 6s, 7s, most folding. I mean, when he's donking into me, you don't need a computer to tell you this. He's probably got me beat. He's ahead of me. So, it's just, if I go here, look at this little thing. Equity, out of position. And at the end, whoop, he goes up a lot closer to me. I'm on the river. So his range is a lot closer to mine. You see it shoots up at the end there with the expression. Well, the main thing is see, I don't know how this works. It's kind of interesting. Out of position. I haven't played with this much, but I won't elaborate. I'll play with this a little bit more. It's kind of interesting. Free at my website, pokerpro.us.com. Let's go on to the next hand.